Looking at some partly cloudy skies tomorrow. I think there'll be some breaks and a little sunshine. Some fog overnight tonight. May slow down your driving. About 60 degrees for a high temperature, which is above average. Average is in the low 50s this time of year. Next weather system will develop and move in on Friday. A little bit of a break over the weekend. Can't totally rule out a shower early Saturday.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll look for you at 6.
Day 2 of the government shutdown. Neither side is budging. Not the Republicans, not the president.
I am not going to be pressured, blackmailed, or shoved into a corner into doing something that I know is bad for the future of our people and our children.
An exclusive interview with President Clinton. Also tonight, evidence of horrible war crimes in Bosnia. An American reporter has a first-hand look. And advances in medicine. Bob Arnott on a new method for major heart bypass surgery. Back home in less than 2 days.
This is the CBS Evening News. With Dan Rather reporting tonight from Washington.
Good evening. Fast-moving late developments here on Capitol Hill and at the White House tonight in the budget showdown. In an exclusive interview at the White House just a short while ago, President Clinton stuck to his no-retreat stand and said he'd veto the newest budget offer from congressional Republicans. This word came a short time ago as the president took time out from working the phones in the Oval Office and authorizing an extraordinary measure to make today's payments on the national debt to prevent an unprecedented default. The president told me that the new stopgap budget offer from congressional Republicans, one that would not increase Medicare premiums, but would require a balanced budget in 7 years, is not good enough. He considers it to be unfair, and he says he'll veto it even if his popularity goes down to near zero. Are you saying flat out that you will veto a bill sent to you that is what the Republicans call a, quote, clean bill that contains only the insistence you balance the budget in 7 years? You'll veto that?
Yes. I cannot tell you how strongly I feel that this would not be good for America. Now, I favor balancing the budget, but not if it's going to undermine our basic values and the strength of our economy. We got to keep moving in the right direction, which is reduce the deficit, balance the budget, but take care of our obligations to our elderly and to our children, to the healthcare system, protect the environment, invest in education and technology. That's what's going to move this country forward, and that's what we've got to do. I believe their budget will do harm to our country. I cannot support it.
Speaker, again, we spoke today of this possibly going on for 90 days. You can't possibly, or can you, hold to that position if it goes on anywhere near that long?
His position, as I understand it, is that he will allow no budget to come to a vote in the Congress that does not have the support of every one of his Republican members, no matter how extreme their views. I'm not going to go for it.
Even if it goes
90
on 90
days, 120 days, 180 days. If we take it right into the next election, let the American people decide. If the American people want the budget that they have proposed to be the law of the land, they're entitled to another president. And that's the only way they're going to get it. I do not believe in it. It is not good for America. It is not right. This is an exercise of raw, naked power. The Constitution says the Congress should propose, the president should sign or veto. If the president vetoes, then the Congress can override the veto. If they can't override the veto, they should get together and work something out. That is not what they want to do. What they want to do is to shut the government down until I take their budget.
You know that there are any number of people who say, listen, I may blame the Republicans more than the Democrats about this, but they're all just playing politics. What it's about when you get down to it is presidential politics, and they're just playing politics. And furthermore, they, all Democrats and Republicans, are playing politics with people's lives, people who've laid off, been laid off from work.
Mr. Rather, I didn't lay anybody off. I said if they would send me the normal bill putting people back to work, I would sign it in a heartbeat. If they don't want to work with me to find a balanced budget, if we just permit the government to go through this next year, let's go into the presidential campaign and let the American people make up their mind about whether they like my balanced budget plan or their balanced budget plan. You have a group of people in the Congress now. The controlling element of the Congress believes that they should undermine and break the role of the federal government in America's life except for national defense. That's what they believe. And I don't agree with them. I think that that is not good for America. This is much more about what's good for the American people than it's about politics. This is way more than a trivial political debate. This is a choice the American people have to make about two very different visions of change and which is right. And I am determined to stick up for what I know is right for the American people. And I don't care how long it takes. I am not going to be pressured, blackmailed, or shoved into a corner into doing something that I know is bad for the future of our people and our children.
If this continues, if this impasse is still underway, when it comes time for you to leave Japan, will you go to Japan or cancel that trip?
Well, the decision is on us, you know, because I was supposed to leave Friday night. If the people who work for the federal government aren't working and the people who need the services of our government aren't getting them, it's going to be difficult for me to see my way clear to take this trip. So I'm going to look at it very closely, but if it's not resolved, I would have a hard time doing it.
On that last answer, a follow-up, White House correspondent Rita Braver has been told that President Clinton is informing Japan's Prime Minister tonight that he will cancel his state visit to Tokyo this weekend if the U.S. budget showdown is still underway. Under those circumstances, the president has indicated he will send Vice President Gore to the trade talks in his place. Here on Capitol Hill tonight, Republicans are very aware that the public perceives their position as being more to blame for the current budget stalemate. So they blinked some, but as you just heard, not enough for President Clinton. More on the Capitol Hill part of the story from our chief Washington correspondent, Bob Schieffer. Bob?
Well, Dan, the Republican leaders were not aware of the even harder line that the president took in your interview when they made their offer, but the offer itself is simple. They'll agree to legislation to get the government operating again if the president will agree in principle to balance the budget in 7 years.
He said no.
No, he said 16 times yes about a balanced budget.
Our goal here is twofold. One, we'd like to reopen the government. We think, frankly, the American people deserve to have government employees work if they're going to get paid. It shows we're conservative, but it's not a bad idea as a principle.
I would present a 5-year plan.
The late offer came after Republicans had rolled out a tape of the various ways the president has previously said he wants a balanced budget.
Balance the budget in 10 years. I think we could reach it in 8 years. I have proposed a balanced budget that balances the budget in 9 years. I think we could reach it in 7 years. The 7-year period is an arbitrary period, so we're between 7 and 9 now.
So what Republicans are doing now is not just sending up legislation to try to end this. They know that most polls show that many Americans blame them for shutting down the government. They're trying to use the president's own words to put the blame back on the president. They're not just sending legislation to the White House, Dan. They're daring the president to sign it.
Bob Schieffer. The National Park Service has announced strong new measures to deal with the government shutdown. Details on that and the spreading impact across America when the CBS Evening News continues from here in Washington.
What brand of rotary tool does World Do-It-Yourself champ Larry Snyder endorse? Ryobi. Larry needs all this power. Larry loves all these bits. In Larry's shop, there will be no limits. Why does World Do-It-Yourself champ Larry Snyder carve with Ryobi? To carve like Michelangelo on 100 cups of coffee. He works fast, he plays hard. What Larry sees, Larry carves.
Why pour, measure, lug, splash, and push to clean your hardwood floors when there's new Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner? Just squirt and mop. No dulling residue, no rinsing. It couldn't be easier. New Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner. One step away from clean.
Monday, I soak my dentures. Tuesday, I brush. Wednesday, I...
Stop. Denture-Cream really cleans dentures, and its new Mouthwash Fresh formula has more minty mouthwash ingredients. Denture-Cream.
Every day.
Now with new Mouthwash Fresh formula.
The impact of the budget impasse and the partial government shutdown goes far beyond Washington. The National Park Service tonight ordered all national parks around the country closed until further notice and asked all visitors to leave. And as Bob McNamara reports, that's not all.
Many federal government offices are temporarily closed because of the budget crisis.
Today at federal offices from coast to coast, politics was personal. I felt very bad. I mean, this is America. It shouldn't happen like that.
This man may miss his brother's funeral in Jamaica.
It's closed, so listen to the news. So what the hell is that? You know, it's very hard.
This woman's having trouble getting her mother home to Haiti.
They don't care anymore.
This family cannot get a mother's body sent to San Diego for burial in a VA cemetery.
Everglades National Park is closed due to the budget cut.
Nationwide, parks remain closed, paperwork is stalled, and the public is steaming. There is frustration, too, for the people who get paid to solve these kinds of problems. The federal workers sent home to cool their heels while Congress and the president bicker over the budget.
I feel let down.
Today, both cars are sitting in front of the Boylan house.
And it bothers me. I would rather be at work than sitting at home.
Between them, Jim Boylan and his wife, Nancy, have worked 40 years for the Social Security Administration.
You know, my things are just sitting there, and the mail is piling them up somewhere.
Yesterday, both were sent home.
The people with the safety net, well, that safety net's been cut.
Today, both are becoming bitter.
Who do I have to call? You know, to say, you're hurting my family, you're hurting my neighbors, you're hurting all kinds of people.
For Americans inside and outside the federal bureaucracy, this week has been a hard lesson on what happens when big government goes away. Bob McNamara, CBS News, Dallas.
Federal air safety investigators held new hearings today, still trying to solve that mysterious crash of U.S. Air Flight 427 near Pittsburgh last year, killing all on board the Boeing 737. Sources told CBS News correspondent Bob Orr that tests indicate that at slow landing speeds, a Boeing 737 can roll over and plunge in rare cases if the rudder moves to an extreme position. Now, earlier this year, investigators duplicated the flight's final minutes by having a 737 hit by air turbulence caused by the wake of another jetliner. Today, investigators confirmed thumps on Flight 427's recorders were from wake turbulence, but most still don't think this alone caused the crash. Among the federal workers off the job here in Washington are the economic analysts, but the last batch of data they collected indicates the cost of living rose 0.3% last month. That means inflation so far this year is running just under 3%. AT&T offered buyouts today to nearly 78,000 management employees. That's half the company's supervisory staff. The job cuts are a prelude to AT&T's planned breakup into 3 separate companies.
The coffee perking in this pot is America's best loved coffee. As long as liberty is alive and well.
Nearly 4,000 of us have marched from the city limits.
As long as lighthouses shine. And there are lessons to be learned.
Father Knows Best has been brought to you by Maxwell House Coffee.
Just as long as the tide turns, Maxwell House will always be good to the last drop. Good things have a way of lasting.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of life for any job you do, any job that needs 3 hands, but you've got only 2, 'cause I'm the snake light from Black & Decker. I'll get around, I'm the snake light.
Hi. Thought you might like a little help. Thanks, my hands. Should I get your Advil? I'm trying that new naproxen sodium.
But this has special dosing restrictions for people your age. Your Advil doesn't.
I'm older, 66.
And what if you take this and your pain comes back?
Oh.
You may be in pain for hours before you can take more. Doesn't your doctor recommend Advil for you?
You're right. I'll stick with Advil.
Nothing is proven more effective or longer lasting than Advil. Nothing.
These American soldiers are preparing for war. As far as they're concerned, they're going into Bosnia. And if they go, the road in could be easier than the road out.
My worry would be, you know, if it would break out into like a big war, kind of like Vietnam.
Eye on America, tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
A court ruling late today went against O.J. Simpson. A judge in Santa Monica, California, refused to keep secret the transcript of Simpson's upcoming depositions in civil lawsuits filed by the families of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman. The judge also said he probably would allow the Simpson depositions taken by attorneys to be videotaped, but that the tape would go immediately to a private mediator for protection. An 18-year-old student brought his gun to school today in rural Tennessee and opened fire in the hallway. When it was over, a teenage girl and a teacher were dead. Another teacher was wounded. The gunman was arrested. The Ohio peace talks on Bosnia are coming down to the crunch. Balkan leaders are reportedly still deadlocked over the core issue, how to divide the territory of Bosnia. While U.S. diplomats are trying to settle the conflict, new evidence is emerging of massive war crimes. Correspondent David Martin has the latest on that.
The stories told by distraught survivors and the spy photos of what appear to be mass graves leave little doubt something horrible happened when the Bosnian Serb army overran the Muslim enclave of Srebrenica last July. But reporter David Rode of the Christian Science Monitor is the only independent observer to actually visit the scene of the alleged war crimes.
And there were little dots all over the field. As I got out of the car and walked towards them, the dots turned into discarded shoes, rotting clothes, and smashed eyeglasses.
The Serbs have claimed the graves contain the bodies of Muslim soldiers killed in combat. But when Rode visited the site last month, he found only civilian clothes.
3 canes also, which indicates that there were elderly men that were being massacred at these graves.
Survivors have placed the commander of the Bosnian Serb army, General Ratko Mladic, at the scene ordering the executions. Rode didn't find Mladic, but everything else backed up the survivors' descriptions of the mass grave.
The distance to the school, everything, the cornfield next to it, the hill near it, everything matched perfectly what the survivors told me.
When Rode was discovered at the gravesite, he was arrested and interrogated on suspicion of being a spy. He was released after 10 days, but not allowed to keep the photos he had taken. The Bosnian Serbs have promised to allow investigators from the International War Crimes Tribunal into Srebrenica, but so far have failed to deliver on that promise. In the meantime, U.S. intelligence officials say the Bosnian Serbs are trying to destroy the most critical evidence of their war crimes by digging up and disposing of the bodies in those mass graves. David Martin, CBS News, the Pentagon.
Straight ahead, a revolutionary improvement in open heart surgery.
Okay, I don't see much in here, just kind of flakes. There's nothing wrong with flakes per se. You know, flakes can be very useful when you're making a meatloaf or your bread and fish. Anywho, I'll give them a go. You know, just a little skosh, okay? Because I had the cupcake and the... Ooh, you know, hold on. They are, you know what they are? They are tasty. They are crispy and they are crunchy.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Kellogg's Corn Flakes. Oh, boy. That's a hoot.
Taste them again for the first time.
Discover the feeling of Fix-It-Dent Fresh. A stronger, longer hold, a more secure, fresh approach to wearing dentures. And the fresh sensation gives you the confidence to live life without limits. Try a fresh approach.
Everybody has morning breath. Unfortunately, not everybody has scope.
Nobody does it like you, the way that you do. Nobody's got the power to please me. Nobody does it like you, puts it all together better to make it easy. Nobody does it like you, Hoover. Nobody does it like you.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of light that likes to bend around. You can point me left or right, or hang me upside down. But I'm not the kind of light you have to hang on to. Just use me when you need 3 hands, but you've got only 2. 'Cause I'm the snake light. They call me the snake light.
It's the totally flexible hands-free flashlight from Black & Decker.
Yeah, we're the snake lights from Black & Decker. We get around, 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 around.
American soldiers preparing for war. If they go into Bosnia, how easy will it be to get out? Eye on America tomorrow on the CBS Evening News.
New and important evidence tonight that cholesterol-lowering drugs can be a lifesaver even for people who have moderately high cholesterol levels and no major heart disease symptoms. A study involving thousands of middle-aged men in Scotland found that the cholesterol-lowering drugs cut the risk of heart attacks and deaths from heart disease by more than 30%. For many Americans already affected by heart disease, the answer is often heart surgery. The surgery is major and not risk-free, but new techniques reported at today's meeting of the American Heart Association could make the surgery a lot easier on the patient. Even so, it may still be hard for some viewers to watch, as Dr. Bob Arnott shows you how it works.
In the 1950s, the ability to stop the heart ushered in a revolution in open heart surgery.
The heart will stop beating, but the patient will not die.
And that remains the standard even today.
Flush your cold blood, please.
But that requires cracking the patient's chest bone from one end to the other and a cumbersome heart-lung machine. After 3 attempts were made to reopen 70-year-old Theodore Raid's clogged artery, he was told bypass surgery was his only option.
I've seen the massive trauma, the huge clamps to hold your breast apart, and to me that didn't appeal to me.
Instead, Dr. James Fonger, his surgeon, offered him a procedure that is the latest revolution in heart surgery, a minimally invasive coronary bypass.
That is a radical departure from what we've been able to offer them with conventional coronary surgery to date.
Instead of a foot-long cut, surgeons make a 3.5-inch incision. The heart doesn't stop beating, so there is no heart-lung machine or army of doctors and technicians.
And remove it from its connection.
They remove this one small piece of rib to expose the patient's beating heart.
The target we're going to graft is right here, in between these 2 white snares. And the conduit we're going to use is the mammary artery, which comes down over here like this and will be sewn right into that area.
The fresh new artery is attached just below the blockage, bypassing the damaged heart artery and restoring blood flow. That's the frontier of heart surgery. 2.5 hours and an incision the size of an appendix scar.
As surgery becomes less and less invasive, cardiologists are becoming more and more aggressive, doing what once only surgeons did, opening a completely blocked coronary artery. 5 or 10 years ago, was this the kind of thing only a surgeon could do?
Yes. A surgeon had to bypass this artery.
On Monday, William Nichols, suffering a heart attack and too sick for surgery, was offered Star Wars cardiac technology.
I couldn't hardly breathe.
Give me slack.
Dr. An Topaz, a former Israeli tank commander, is one of the new breed of aggressive cardiologists.
Stop.
In the OR, he crosses a 95% blockage in this artery with a wire, pries it open with a balloon, then threads a laser further down to blast through a completely blocked area.
Laser on.
The payoff.
The vessel is open in the 2 sites that we worked. Very good results.
This morning, Nichols was doing well. His chest pain gone.
You feel better?
Oh, yeah.
Good.
Very good.
But these procedures are still experimental and should only be performed by experienced researchers.
There's a potential for patients to be dazzled, but also for them to be damaged.
But the driving force behind this innovation is the lower cost of shorter hospital stays. Theodore Raid went home less than 48 hours after major bypass surgery. William Nichols' discharge is scheduled for tomorrow. Dr. Bob Arnott, CBS News, New York.
A November blizzard shut down much of the eastern United States today. The storm, accompanied by high winds, dropped up to 27 inches of snow from North Carolina to Maine. Up in orbit, it was a marvelous night for a moon dance and a major advance in marrying the United States and Russian space programs. Shuttle Atlantis slow danced to a perfect docking with the Russian space station Mir early today, a technical achievement much harder than it looked. The new docking tunnel installed today will ease future link-ups and also provides a model for building a new U.S.-Russian space station set to begin in 1997.
finally, great popcorn from your microwave.
Power Pop.
Presto Power Pop Microwave Multi-Popper. Exclusive power-based concentrates microwaves to pop virtually every kernel. Pop with oil for a buttery flavor.
Power Pop.
Pop without oil for a healthier, low-fat snack. A third cup of popcorn, 3 quarts of crunch. Other microwave poppers can't measure up. See? Dishwasher safe, too. Nothing pops like Power Pop. That's why it's endorsed by Orville Redenbacher.
Power Pop puts power in the pop.
From Presto.
This is a really beautiful day. Soup weather. There's this cream of chicken with vegetables from Healthy Choice, and that is rich stuff. Great big vegetables, lean chicken. Just makes you feel good. And only has 2 grams of fat. Beautiful. With Healthy Choice, I can eat what I like.
Why pour, measure, lug, splash, and push to clean your hardwood floors when there's new Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner? Just squirt and mop. No dulling residue, no rinsing. It couldn't be easier. New Mop & Glow Hardwood Floor Cleaner. One step away from clean.
In searching for a luxury performance sedan, Michael Young tested the Oldsmobile LSS against 3 of the fastest Japan has to offer: the Infiniti J30, Lexus ES300, and teppanyaki chef Yasu Norimoto. And while his 240 horsepower LSS was no match for Yasu's speed, not only did Mr. Young fare much better against the imports, he had them for lunch. Will the LSS pass your test?
Got any Tylenol, Mike? No, but I've got this. Oh, no thanks. My doctor says ibuprofen can interfere with my high blood pressure medication.
My dad uses these, and he takes medicine for his blood pressure.
My doctor told me to use Tylenol. I mean, it works great, and he says it's safer for me.
I wonder if my dad knows this.
If you're using ibuprofen, Tylenol may be better for you. Talk to your doctor.
Look, I'll see you in 8 hours, and I'll bring some Tylenol for your dad.
The official commemorations are over for this year's 50th anniversary of World War II, but there's some memories that will live on as long as people treasure them. That's why some survivors of the war gathered this week to remember a man who disobeyed his orders to save their lives. Anthony Mason has the story of an obscure Japanese diplomat with his own version of Schindler's List.
I was 5 years old at that time.
Hiroki Sugihara was just a child in 1939 when his father was posted to the Japanese consulate in Kaunas, Lithuania. But he still remembers when the crowd of Jewish refugees appeared outside the gates.
They were surrounding the consulate. Everybody was shouting, yelling, and trying to come over the fences.
The refugees, mostly Poles, were seeking transit visas, trying to escape the advancing Nazi army.
It really was the last chance to escape.
Sylvia Smoller was just 7. Her family was in the crowd outside the consulate.
Without that visa, I wouldn't be here.
Japan, then allied with Germany, ordered its emissary not to issue the visas.
But if he doesn't, he said, these people may get killed.
Chione Sugihara consulted his family and his conscience. I told him, his widow Yukiko now says, that as human beings, our only choice was to help. In New York last night, Sugihara's little-known acts of courage were honored by the survivors he helped to save.
Bless you for everything.
This is Sugihara's list. In just 30 days, he issued 2,000 visas, saving more than 6,000 Jews.
I just can't explain the goodness of his heart, what made him do it. It's just impossible for me to comprehend.
It cost Sugihara his career. After the war, Japan's foreign ministry fired him. Only since his death in 1986 have his humanitarian actions really been recognized.
What I want to do is to show that even a single individual Japanese had some kind of a good heart to save the people.
They needed help, Chione Sugihara said. I'm glad I found the strength to give it to them. Anthony Mason, CBS News, New York.
And that's part of our world tonight. First thing tomorrow, CBS This Morning. Paul is on, Harry Smith live from Dallas. For the CBS Evening News, Dan Rather reporting from Washington. Good night.